Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go. 2 12-hour candles later, and we have gone nowhere in terms of price action, just slightly higher from where we were last update. Let's go see if anything has changed in the liquidity of high block. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see where those crispy characters lie in wait and or got burnt to a crisp. So let's do that now. 1 minute time frame. We were talking about coming back down into this $251 million 50x pool of longs down at 27,782. We have yet to do that. Trying to ping in some liquidity over the last day. Nothing has been pinged in. There's some $60 million character that pinged in as it burst up into this level up here, and they started to meander back down into this 60 million long pool. Have yet to take it out completely, but they did take out one little partner in crime. An $18 million character got taken out there. And let's go see what's going on in the higher time frame pools. Most likely unchanged, as the pools have unchanged. You got the imbalance to the downside on the 7-day. We have the slight double-digit pool up at 28.7 and nearing double digits up to 29.1, but overall heavy weight to the downside, sub 26k imbalance for the monthly. This also is expressed on the 3-month chart. If you see these double-digit pools down at 23.6 and beyond. Looking at the 28.9 region, the 29k, you do have about $50 billion up to 29k that they could take on the 3-month if they want to peel out with an extended M pattern before they say goodbye to this range. Coming down to the sub 25k region, you'd have this $173 billion pool at 24.3. So the imbalance to the downside on the 6-month and 2-year as well. 2-year does have this little bit of happiness down at 23.6, 261 billion at 23.6. Not to be discounted, of these now clearly over $600 billion in the 33.2 region. So I would expect that they would come down to this before peeling up to here, but you never know. 600 billion is sitting up at the 33.2 region. On the 2-year time frame, as these pools thicken. Let's go ahead and go back to the monthly time frame and talk about that sub 26k double-digit pool imbalance down there and go into the charts, shall we? Okay. What's up, CNC? Thanks for always showing the support and coming on in. Let's go ahead and throw on the oscillators. What is this stuff, you say? Well, it is linked in the description for more. Scroll down to features and toggle everything that you see here at Bitcoin's bottom, and you can read about each of these components as they come into prominence. Alright, so where do we stand here on the 12-hour time frame? We had a cross-up event. We're still seeing the baselines cross down here, and where they're having an extended M pattern after the baseline crossed down and doing this sweep of the recovery of this candle and basically holding this region. Let's go ahead and start to take a look at the 3-day. 3-day closes in 2 days, which would be basically end of Monday, so Tuesday. After false move Monday, the 3-day candle will close. We've pierced this cloud not once but twice, and this purple is starting to onset here. Is this just a glitch in the matrix before it continues higher, or is this insinuating this kind of B wave into B into C down on the 3-day? 3-day stochastic overbought, money flow and RSI hanging out at equilibrium levels at the 60, just above the 50. The Williams starting to come up here, but could possibly reject on this 50 level on the 3-day. If we go to the daily, daily has yet to, well, we came back, we broke the cloud, we came back, we kissed it, and then we surged back up. Is that enough to just keep going here? The angle of which this cloud is rising, it is getting thicker, but it is not, the angle is not giving conviction, let's say. This was a more conviction play that started to rise up in an angle here. Same with here, starting to see that, but this is one of those plays where we pierced through the purple cloud and continued higher. So is this going to happen on that 3-day as well? Giving the conviction, the stance of conviction to stay in this range. Daily time frame attempting for a triple top idea, coming back up here, the money flow beneath the RSI starting to come back in. $22-hour money flow beneath the RSI also suggesting you can keep going on the 22. Coming back to that 12-hour time frame, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the angle in which this 12-hour is starting to curve here, suggesting some abatement of the upside at some point. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 6-hour. 6-hour looking for a last subtle push up here. Is that because the 4-hour also getting pinned structurally? Clouds starting to thin here and taper in a manner. Interesting. Must be a lot of indecision dojis here that are causing this to drop. As we come into the hourly time frame, hourly previously had on the money flow some bullish divergence that is starting to play out from basically 4 a.m. my time. So we did not come down to the pool at all yesterday. We just kind of went sideways. And now we are reassessing. The pool is still there at 27,770. So we should have this $251 million character still available for the taking. Starting to make a rise here to above the 28K. We are holding the cloud. The cloud is rising since our last stream. So the volume coming up here. Starting to get a flash of a cross-up event on the hourly. The money flow coming beneath the RSI was a guide here in some case, having this come back in, the money flow back in. Let's go see what exists above right now. So it looks like they're pinging in some liquidity. They just pinged in 18 million and 20 million dollars as they burst up there. No shorts were pinged in except from back here, 28 million at 28,135. So until they make it above the place they previously stabbed at 28,390, there's really no liquidity for them to grab in this region. Notably, of course, if I throw on the liquidation levels indicator, you will see some 100xers that appear here. But you see it on both sides here, and this could just be a stop hunt rise within the range, consolidation range, before we come back down into that 50x pool. So that 50x pool is still right for the picking, and we're still on low liquidity weekend. All right, well, going into the candle close for the weekly, I'd be watching this cloud and then failure to reclaim it. If we are going down, it would be something where we break the cloud and then bearishly retest it in this manner like Friday and then come back down beneath it. So as of this moment, you're above the cloud, so you'd be waiting for some sort of failure at the hourly cloud. The 4-hour as well starting to taper in a manner here. Surprising that we had this reclamation candle from Friday, because the stock markets did their little bear trap. So Bitcoin followed suit with that. Came up to the 786 of this impulse, rejected off the impulse, and now we're kind of meandering around in a zone here, basically just above that golden pocket region. If we were to look at this as a bearish structure, you would see you would have to come beneath this 27,953. So we talked previously about if you were going to get some bullishness, you would have to be above 26,994, basically 27k, and we got that last Sunday, and we surged up from that point. So I deleted the larger projection, but that's where you would basically see, oh, there it is, okay. That's where you'd be looking for confirmation of bearishness, would be beneath the 27k region. We're currently not in that viewpoint. So for the larger time frame structure of the trend-based fib levels, on this little micro structure shift, it would be above below the 27,953 region. So if we start to close candles beneath 27,953, essentially 28k, that is a kind of confirmation level for the downside to occur. Some potential bounce zones would be in the 27,364, 27,284, this region, and the 786 being where we previously bounced off of. And ultimately some take profits in this region down here. This is reminding me of the pools we have back here at the 786 level, the 26,543. There was some nice juicy pools at 26,568. So coming back down into this region would be realistic to think at some point. Coming down to here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Dominance is rising, but we're getting some nukes on the dominance. Interesting. The last one we had on Thursday dropped down. So does that mean the dominance for Bitcoin is going to drop? The levels at which we're at are suggesting this to be the case. These are some bullish trend-based fib levels. The 51,706 trapdoor region could possibly drop it out from here. If we go to the USDT dominance, we're getting a little bit more injection of the USDT beef into trades here as people insert their dinero into trades. If we look at the altcoins, we will see who is having there's some red and green mixture throughout the thing, throughout the mix. Not extremely bullish for the alts necessarily either. If we go to total 3, kind of going sideways here, not really taking a huge surge up since that rocket ship on September 12th. Attempting to reclaim the cloud here on the 4-hour. So we came back and recovered some of this vector candle after coming up here. Makes sense that we would come back and sweep the lows at least a little bit more on total. We already have that projection for you. If we can come down into the 1 region. Let's go to DXY. I'm going to remove this. This is fairly old, as we had the rocket ships down there. So reaching a point within the previous range here, determining whether it wants to retrace down some more into some of these lows or start to surge up into some vector goodness up in here. Was interesting day on Friday for the Nasdaq as we dipped and ripped for the entire way up into 15K once again. Recovered all of those fair value gaps up to the 15,130 region. So all those fair value gaps were recovered. There's some more up in here that they could keep coming back into. We'll do our diligence with an off stream to get some of these ones down to the downside here. We had this previous 786 rip up here from this impulse. We came down to the 786 and peeled out there. A 786 bounce off of that dump there. We'll leave that up to look at later. Alright, so Bitcoin, where does it want to go? Reclaiming 28K. What type of liquidity is getting pinged in here? So far, nothing. And the volume is stepping up here. went from 27,945 up to 28. So basically like $100 bounce. Okay, so once again, I would be looking for, we are having these three hits to the high region. So once again, the rejection level, 27,953. If we start coming back beneath that, we could see some acceleration to the downside into the 50x pool at 27,770 and beyond 26,866 and some pool down at 26,568. Ultimately, I'm seeing a potential retrace to the downside here and not really seeing much strength nor reason to stay strong up in this region other than the illusion to trap more liquidity, but I'm open to be wrong. I'll be looking for this level to break 27,953 first and then retrace down into these regions. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it for now. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same. Bringing the fire, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you